Two Indian brothers took their counterfeit bills to a store to test. They handed the money to the busy shopkeeper. The shopkeeper took the money and instinctively rubbed it, making the young man's heart race. The next second, the shopkeeper grabbed the young man tight. Luckily, the older brother came to help, and the younger one managed to escape. The brothers were puzzled. They thought their counterfeit bills were so realistic. These two brothers had exceptional talents since childhood. The older brother was a skilled artist and the younger one was great at printing. The older brother grew up to be a street artist, specializing in replicating famous paintings from around the world, making them indistinguishable from the original. However, in India, an unknown artist is almost a beggar, and his business was bleak. He set his sights on counterfeiting, because the new rupee notes used microprinting technology, which the world's best printers couldn't replicate without showing the unique moire pattern. The only way to create the counterfeit base was through drawing, and the older brother was a painting genius. He spent a week observing the 50 rupee note, using his years of experience replicating famous paintings to see every detail clearly. After 2 months of repeated correction, he finally perfectly recreated every detail of the 50 rupee note and pieced them together to form a hand-drawn base. Next, it was the younger brother's turn and applied a chemical protective layer. After cooling the counterfeit base, the crucial step was printing. They bought an old second-hand printing machine. They extracted the security thread from a real 10 rupee note and inserted it into the counterfeit 50 rupee note. Finally, they used a stamping machine to add a serial number. Looking at the flawless counterfeit note, they were excited, but they noticed a problem. They soaked the counterfeit note in tea and hung it to dry overnight. Note was too new, so they intentionally aged it. They took the counterfeit note to a large convenience store to test it, but the shopkeeper noticed something was wrong. The older brother was frustrated. He asked the younger brother to close his eyes and handed him a few notes. With only one being counterfeit, the younger brother felt them and identified the counterfeit note. It turned out the paper they used was different from real notes. Having found the problem, they began to solve it in the following days. They touched 2 sheets of paper together, and the texture was unbeatable, almost identical to real notes. They immediately separated the front and back of the counterfeit note, inserted the security thread on the portrait side, and glued them together. As usual, they aged it with tea and dried it overnight. The new counterfeit note was ready. The two went to the convenience store again, with the older brother using the counterfeit note to buy soda. This time, the shopkeeper handed over the beer and gave change, meaning their counterfeit note was successful. Did you like the story so far? Watch the full video on our channel. Subscribe to our channel for more story like this every week.